Namaste, everyone. My name is Stella Oliveira, founder of the Atman Yoga Center. And today I bring to you a technique that is very potent to help with stress relief. So let's analyze things a little bit. Stress, right, is something that we all seem to have for one reason or another. Sometimes that stress is external around us, that is the cause, the chaos, right, that comes sometimes in the world. Other times it's internal, like that mind that won't stop, that keeps producing these thoughts that make us anxious, that are not necessarily always the truth, but they somehow bother us, right? So ancient yogis have discovered some techniques that help with all of this, that help us calm the mind, strengthen our nervous system. And these are all extremely valuable. So today I'm going to share one of these teachings with you. This particular one comes from the Kundalini Yoga tradition, okay? This particular meditation. So let's take a step back and think about the traditional Chinese medicine, right? You've probably heard of acupuncture, maybe you've had acupuncture, maybe you've heard of meridians, which are energy channels in the body, energy centers. In yoga, we also have those in the same type of concept with energy centers that we call chakras. So back to the Chinese traditional medicine, and yogis knew this too, ancient yogis, is that our fingertips and our toes are either, ending or beginning of a lot of nerves in our body that are connected with different body systems, different organs through the meridians. Okay, the energy travels. That's one of the ways the acupuncture works. It's by activating those meridians. Well, yogis discovered mudras. Mudras mean, this is a Sanskrit word from ancient India, but it means seal, to close it tight, right? So there are some mudras or seals that are postures that we make with our hand that help us with the energy. Today I will be sharing two of them with you. Traditionally, when we meditate, we just use what we call the Gyan Mudra or Vishnu Mudra, depending on how you, what tradition of yoga you're studying. It's Chin Mudra or Gyan Mudra, and that's the classical posture. But today, we're going to do two different mudras. One is going to be for the left hand and the other one for the right hand. Now, I'm going to make a parenthesis here. I'm going to speak first on the female energy. If you identify with female energy, then this is how you're going to do it. And if you identify with the male energy, then you have to switch that, and I will talk about that in a minute. So the left hand, you're going to have, for this meditation, you're going to have a special mudra that brings the thumb and the ring finger together. And the other fingers are just straight up. This is the mudra for the left hand. But rest your hand for a second. The other hand, your right hand, is going to have the ring finger touching the thumb. And it's going to just rest the whole time on your lap. Now, for the male energy, you would switch that. Your right hand would have thumb and finger touching, and your left hand would have the little finger with the thumb touching, okay? So keep that in mind. For this particular technique that we're going to use, this meditation, the eyes are going to be focusing at the tip of the nose. So you kind of merge your eyes towards the tip of your nose. And that's going to help to activate your sixth chakra, an energy point, but also associated in your physical body with one of your glands, with your pituitary gland. Okay, so if you can, converge the eyes to look at the tip of the nose. But if that's too difficult, you can just imagine yourself looking at the tip of your nose. And then just lower your gaze and imagine that you're looking at the tip of the nose. Okay? So now you know the mudras, the seals we're going to be using for this. And you also know that the eyes are going to be focusing at the tip of the nose. Another very important part of when we meditate is to have an elongated torso, right? And to keep it erect so that that energy can travel up through your spinal column, okay? And we are going to be doing regular, long, deep breathing through this meditation, okay? And we're going to be doing this for a little while, so relax into it. Remember, yogis long ago discovered, and they passed it on to us, that through calmness, which the breath helps us have, right? If we breathe long and deep, we begin to relax our body, correct? When we are agitated, when we are stressed, the rhythm of our breath is a lot faster. So we need to remind our body to breathe, our lungs, to breathe deeply. So that begins to help us relax. And then silence, going with stillness and silence so that we can listen to within. We can have, as a result of long practice on continuous basis over the years, it supports our spiritual expansion. That's wonderful, isn't it? But meanwhile, since we are here and there is chaos around or chaos in our mind, the technique helps us in the now also, not just with our expansion spiritually, but so that we can function harmoniously, so that we can be a resource to others that haven't discovered this yet and need someone who is grounded, someone who is calm to support them. So it's a win-win situation, I would say. So today we're going to be meditating for only 3 minutes. But mind you, this meditation is recommended to be done for 11 minutes. But I know you're probably running and busy right now. Some of you might be on your lunch break from work. So remember, you're just learning the technique, but you can employ it later. Okay, and this recording will be here so that you can review. I'm planning to save it so you can review it. All of the steps, if you need to. And my recommendation is that you practice it for a while. Maybe practice for a week and see if you start noticing a difference. And even if you only have 3 minutes is better than nothing. But if you can do 11 minutes, and as you grow fond of it, go up to 31 minutes, and you will really discover much, much, much more how powerful the practice is. And one more thing I wanted to tell you, yogis have also associated fingertips and fingers with different planetary energy, aside from knowing that the Chinese have mapped areas of the body, right? That each finger's nerves are going to be affecting or connected to through the, and the meridians will carry the energy. So for this mudra here, we associate it with the sun, which is life, right? And also with Uranus. And it's the finger that associates with the neurons, okay, with the brain waves, with the nervous system, in other words, very powerful. And the little finger is associated more with Mercury, communication. But in this case, communication from your spiritual self, that knower within that we all have, that universal consciousness. So communicating from that level, that's the best way we can communicate. And we all need techniques like this, because sometimes the stress hits and we, even if we know it, we forget. So this kind of helps us to ground again, okay? So once again, just to review, focus at the tip of the nose with your eyes, and maintain your left hand, or right if you're a male, female's left hand by your ear, like this at the height, and the other one relaxed on your lap, okay? And here, I'm going to invite you now to deeply breathe, relaxing into the posture, relaxing your shoulders, especially the left shoulder, keep it relaxed. And keep the fingers connecting so that your seal, your mudra, can do its job. Looking at the tip of your nose, deeply breathing, inhale, exhale, and continue. Breathing deeply. With each exhale, relax. Very good. And continue the meditation while I read to you a poem from Rumi from the book called Heartwood. Rumi wrote, "Listen, if you can stand to. Union with the friend, and in this case, friend with a capital F, means not being who you've been, being instead silence, a place, a view where language is inside seeing." And that's what meditation invites us to do. It places us in a spot where you can deeply listen, where we can get together with that friend that in this case means that universal consciousness. And the language is inside seeing, it's within. So I think this poem beautifully describes the concept of meditation. And now go ahead and relax the mudras and bring your hands up, stretch your arms up and shake your arms. Shake, shake, shake a little bit. And release the arms, bring your hands together at your heart and close the practice together with me today with 3 ohms, universal sound. Feel free to chant along with me. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. One more time, inhale. Om. Thank you so much for joining me. And feel free to leave a comment. If you have any questions, communicate with us. Okay? Thank you again for your presence.